So hear me out. I think we've been naming this feeling wrong. Every year, after DreamCon, Anime Expo, BlerdCon, Anime NYC, San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, thousands of people go home, sit on the edge of their bed, look through their pictures on their phone, on their stories, on their friends' stories, and say, man, I got depression.
Cause I got depression.
I don't think you do though. I think what actually happened is that for 4 days, you accidentally lived the life that you've always been wanting. And then you came home. It happens. Let's talk about it. Think about what a convention actually is in its conception. Thousands of people who decided that they love something enough to spend money, take time off of work, book flights, build costumes for hours, pass the con crunching, make music, edit videos just to be around and connect with people who understand them. That is not normal, at least not in everyday life. We are not given that many opportunities. So most of us spend our year explaining our hobbies to people who generally just don't give a f. But at a convention, nobody asks why. Nobody looks at you funny because you spent 6 months making an armor or Master Chief. Nobody asks questions why you know every single opening to every anime you've ever watched because everyone's singing it. Nobody thinks that you're weird because you're carrying around a Game Boy from 1999 because you got it tatted on your neck. For one weekend, you stop translating yourself and you're just understood. That's a beautiful thing. And then you come home, back to the work, back to the classes, back to the responsibilities, back to the people who don't quite get why this weekend mattered so much. And also add on the fact that you might have been working hard and you finally got validation that your online presence means something to people. So everything feels quiet, not because something was taken from you, but because you finally experienced what it feels like to belong to something. That's a very different emotion. So we have to change the name into what I call post-con inspiration. Conventions don't just create memories, they also create creators. Nobody talks about it. Somebody attends their first convention, meets an artist, they start drawing. Somebody watches a cosplay contest, they learn to sew, they start picking up fabrics. Somebody goes to a creator's panel, and oftentimes they're gonna start that YouTube channel. Someone performs at an open mic and realizes, damn, off the reactions, I might actually be able to do this. So the convention never gave them the talent, it gave them permission to imbue the energy and the spirit that they always had within them. And I've watched this happen for years. Shit, I've lived it. My name is Grant Sounds. Professionally, I'm a relevant strategist where I've spent my days helping brands understand internet culture and why communities form around the things that they love. But before any of that, I was just another nerd trying to figure out where I belonged. Music gave me one answer, anime gave me another, and the internet gave me the final piece of where the location really lied. But eventually, those worlds collided, and it started with If the Shoe Fits. Shout out the Shoe Boys. We're just some nerds from Long Island who ended up devising enough of a plan to build something bigger than music during the pandemic. We actually waltzed into building community that's reverberated since then, where we performed at DreamCon, Anime NYC, Brooklyn Comic-Con, but also the Barclays Center, ton of different venues in New York, where we've shared rooms with creators we grew up watching, artists too, and we become friends with full-time artists while becoming some ourselves. So we watch convention friends become business owners, and every single time it starts the same exact way. Somebody just left inspired and absolutely has no clue what to do next. That's the real problem. It's always about a lack of direction. So if you're sitting at home after a convention wondering, okay, now what? How am I gonna cash in on all this post-con inspiration? Here's where I'd start. First, make yourself easy to find. A lot of people f this up. I call this handle sanitization. One name, every platform, one identity, one visual language, one person people can remember.
One band, one sound.
If I met you this weekend, I shouldn't have to solve a puzzle to find you next Tuesday, or figure out which one is your side name, important name you use for Apex, whatever. Keep that in mind. Second, know whose room you're trying to walk into or what watering hole you're pulling up to, because not everybody is your fan. You need specific people: JRPG fans, anime watchers, figure collectors, fighting game players, artists, writers, cosplayers.
The monkey speaks the monkey!
All have subgenres as well, so communities aren't audiences inherently. They're conversation hubs for specific places of focus. Join one before trying to lead one, and never get stuck trying to join a social climbing session in some other creator's social circle. Third, give people something to expect. We're talking about being creators here, not the most perfect, but having presence. Decide what you make, decide how often you can make it, then keep showing up. Because people don't become fans after one great video. That's another huge misnomer. They become fans because they're running into you directly, consistently, whether they like you or not. And that's honestly really it. It's 3 simple things, but I think people forget them and don't do them consistently. Be discoverable, be intentional, and be consistent. Do that long enough, and eventually the convention doesn't just become the highlight of your year because you're seeing all these creators. It becomes the actual place your community comes to see you, and it becomes the place where you get to see the first-hand validation of all your hard work over the years. So maybe you've been calling it post-con depression, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the realization that you've seen the future, and now your present has some catching up to do. So let's lock in. My name is Grand Sounds. Follow me on all platforms, especially on Twitch for some dope live content. Y'all be easy. Peace.